week, such as Danger Penguin. Hey, what's up,
Oh,
buddy?
it's so good to be here. I know the crowd will be thrilled.
And we've also got like the Diet Cola version of the A team with us today to balance out the podcast. Astros is here. What's happening, buddy?
I literally feel like that this trio would not be the same without anybody else, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of not the same.
That's yep. Yeah.
The dynamic would be horrible. Who would you make fun of? There's no one.
What other zero-calorie hosts do I have out here? Fucking nobody. That's who.
You're honestly just doomed.
I know, really. So, guys, we're here. We're talking about the end of season a little bit. We're going to round that out, maybe talk about some LCS stuff because that's been fun lately. Uh, End of season rewards. We will not talk about TFT. We'll let those guys do that. And also, we have some like server news with the boosting of the server, and we're real close to like level 2, which would be super cool. So please help us out in that. And then a tournament to announce, and we're gonna do all that in the next like hour. You guys down?
Actually, I think I'm just gonna go play League. I'll be back.
Okay, sweet. Astros is out. Danger and I are gonna do that in the next hour. So
Yeah, I'm
anyway,
definitely
guys.
not in his game right now.
So like rank climb wise, I know Astros, you met your goal like 3 months ago, like a smart person or something.
I met my goal a month into the season of hitting plat.
Yeah, so there you go. But you got diamond though, didn't you?
D41 LP.
Yeah. When'd you get that?
I hit diamond and then I played 3 games after I hit diamond because I was over the season.
Yeah.
They were all my decay games.
And Penguin, I noticed that you promptly stopped right at the gates to success and didn't knock on the door. What happened there?
That is true. Well, to be perfectly honest, I did not expect to get to Plat 1, so I consider that a win in it of itself. I did have 2 promo series to get to Diamond. Didn't make either of them. But I still finished Plat 1, 14 LP. So that's the best I've ever finished. So I'm happy with the season. Even though it would have been sweet to make Diamond, I'm pretty happy with my season.
You know why that happened, Andrew, right? It's because you were working on your mental instead of duoing with me.
It was a huge mistake.
Sometimes
I should have ridden out that miserable game after game where internally my soul got crushed with your constant whining, but I couldn't do it.
I don't think I've ever complained once in League of Legends. I don't know what you're talking about, bud. You're crazy.
So anyway, how did my season go, you may ask?
Danger, did you ask?
I think I was about to. How did your season go, Astros?
D41.
Yeah. Have we covered that?
I meant Blake.
Akali Bay ended plat 4. It doesn't 52 LP.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah,
That's
you're welcome.
important. I'm glad we've talked about your account and your Smurf account.
It wasn't a
Does
Smurf.
anybody else have any other non sequiturs before I go? We good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, sweet. So my season did not take a good turn, really. So what I would describe my season as would be like a promising looking venture that then took a turn for the horrific and never stopped turning in that direction. Right? So with about couple of weeks left or so, like I had some time, I grinded out solo, I got up to plat 1, 50 something LP, and I was about 5 games off diamond at the rate I was on. I had a 68% win rate with Blitzcrank about that time. So I was doing pretty well. I was pretty hard carrying. And then, I hit like one game where I got a rage quitter. And I thought, well, that's weird. Guess I'm down to 30 and I'll get right back up. That didn't happen. I just lost again. Then again. Then I won one. Then I lost 2. Then I won 1. Then I lost 3. Then I won 1. Then I lost 2 more. Then I won 1, lost 1, won 2. lost 3, just like that, over and over and over again. And the next thing I know, I'm in Plat 3. And I can't buy a win to save my fucking life at this point, right? It was around that time that I decided that murder is a viable option to deal with my stress. Like, fortunately, nobody else was in my basement at the time that I decided this. But, I literally I counted it out, and in the like 20 games that it took me to nosedive into Plat 3, I had 6 rage quitters, which is astronomically high. I mean, that should not happen at that clip, right? Those are insta lose games. You can't win those. That's bad luck. And the problem with that bad luck is that for me to undo it, I would essentially have to play 3 times that many games at like a 60% win rate to climb back out. I did the math on it, and for me to get back to Plat 1 at even a 60% win rate, I would have had to have played something like 90 games. So that sucks. And there's not a lot you can do at that point. Your season just took a turn. Uh, I have often told people, and we got this in the Discord, and I do want to talk about that day in the Discord, that, there was a day on stream that I literally exploded. Like, I was essentially like anger flaming all of Platinum because they fucking deserve it. And, a lot of what I was saying is, and I will stand by, a lot of what I said is true. It is really difficult in Platinum because the duo lane is the worst lane, skill-wise, in Platinum. Like, the solo laners are better, and the jungler is better than your duo lane on average. And the reason I say this is because, like, ADCs in Platinum are incredibly passive. They don't position correctly. Only about a quarter of them know of the level 2 power spike, and of that quarter, maybe a quarter of those will do it aggressively, and the other 3/4 will back off defensively when the other person's going to hit too. Right? So I don't take advantage of it, but I know it's there and I'm going to back off for it. Which to me, there's like no excuse for that. If you know it's there, then you should be trying to get it to generate an advantage, right? But this is a frustration of mine. The fact that I could literally spoon feed an ADC and they spit it out and just don't get the kill and don't get ahead and they're content to CS is a problem. Like, that's a problem in Plat. You need to be getting ahead because if you're even in CS as an ADC, congrats. You could try to be relevant in the late game, but what are you gonna do about the 1-6 or 6-1 Darius coming at your face as an even ADC? You're gonna fucking die, is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get crushed underneath the weight of a gigantic barbarian-esque fucking axe as it sunders you in twain. So, no, you can't be content with just taking small little incremental advantages. That's not the name of the fucking game at this level, right? And all of these things built up in me to a frustration point that I was literally at a snap, right? And the problem is, like, I know, and I've watched the VODs. You can watch the VODs yourself. They're still up on Twitch. You can still check I streamed like almost the whole thing. And you can watch all those VODs. And I wasn't playing poorly, right? So it wasn't like I was playing so badly or I was on such tilt that I would just deserve to lose, right? Like, I don't feel like that. Even going back now and watching those games, I played better than the level of play I was at, right? And the reason I'm mentioning this is because these are the exact same things that I hear year in, year out. Every year that we've had this podcast running, I always hear people like, I play better than a fill in the blank level and I deserve to climb. Yep, I've experienced it firsthand, man. I've been there. This is my year. This is the first year I've been ended in platinum in 3 years, right? And it's not because I'm a platinum like player. I'm not. I'm not. I'm a diamond player. I've been a diamond player for 3 years, but now I am until I get back there, right? But the reality of the situation is this: it doesn't fucking matter. Like all of that shit that I just said, none of it, not a single goddamn bit of it, matters for my climb. Because the reality is, yes, I got hard analed at the end of the season. Hard. Like anybody who would watch those games would be like, Jesus, that is so much bad luck stacked on bad luck with icing of bad luck, birthday candles on it made of bad luck, and then on the top of all that bad luck cake is words that say, you're fucked. Like that was the end of my ranked season spelled out in icing. And it wasn't an ice cream cake. It was a bad luck cake with shit in the middle and tasted accordingly. Fucking terrible end of season. The worst short-term losing spree that you can imagine. Just fail game after fail game after fail game with no chance. Right? I had 6 rage quitters out of 20. For
I think
Christ's
the
sake.
key to everything that you've talked about, and you've said it multiple times, is the words end of season, right? So
Right.
you were pushing strong at the end of the season to try and obtain your goal. Now, if you had been able to, and I tell people this, start your climb earlier, right? That way, if you enter a spell like that, right, you're plat 156 LP and you drop to plat 250 LP, right?
Mhm.
If it's June, let's take a little break because shit's
Yeah,
not going great.
My
Like
mental's fucked.
let's play some normals. Let's let's fuck around. Let's flex queue for a while, and then you can go back. But you were stuck because it was A, the end of the season, and B, I found that people's mental is very on edge at the end of season. So all of a sudden your Riven goes 0-4 at the start of their match, and they're like, well, fuck it. I just got to 0 LP. I'm not going to lose anyway. I'm done with this fucking game, right?
That's nothing. I had a Shaco gank top lane at level 3, die in the gank, go 0-1, rage quit immediately.
Yeah, and you get that. You get that at the end of the season because people either care too much and they're fucking tilted off the face of the earth, or they care so little. Because let's say it's like Astros and one of his multiple "I need to stay alive" in Diamond 4 game, right? So then he's in a game and he's like, "This shit's not going great. I'm gonna try a new build. Let's see what the fuck happens." This guy's a monkey. He keeps complaining top. I'm not ganking top. I don't give a shit if that guy's getting fed. I'm gonna go steal their blue side. That'll get them.
Right.
So
winning the game is not your top priority at that point.
So we always say the 2 worst times to climb are A, the very start of the season, because no one knows what the fuck they're doing, or B, the very end of the season. Yep. And I think that really fucked you as much as anything.
It did. And that's where I'm getting around, on this whole thing is to say like all the things I just said and all the truth that I just laid out there, because I'm not lying about any of that shit. I'm not. Like I have literal video evidence to back me up on all of this. But all of that literally doesn't matter because I started too late. Like I couldn't, all that I had was the short term. And, the long term will balance out the short term. Hell, it'll trump it. It doesn't matter. Like, I would never have gotten a streak like that lasted the entire season. But I'll tell you what, I got a streak like that at the very beginning of the season during my placements. And then I got a streak like that at the very end of my season to screw me. And like, yeah, that fucking happens. And the problem is that the games matter because it's the end of the season. And so it's the worst time to climb. We've always said that. But if you want to get better, the end of the season is not the time to do it. Like it's just not. If you want to get better, you have a whole fucking year to play the game. And that was my fucking problem. Is I had horrible placements. I was like, woe is me. I don't want to play ranked at all during the first 3 months. I didn't even get the stupid summoner armor upgrade.
I
I didn't
did.
play enough ranked.
I did, man. Let me tell you, it was so worth it. I've never done anything more useful in my life.
Did you
Yeah, his
feel
armor
completely
kicks ass. It's
his
it's
armor
really
is
something.
so the
Like when he
shit.
screenshots it and sends it to me, I'm always like, yeah, that's the armor right there.
Wears it to
Nice.
job
Now we know why I
interviews.
get Twitch girls. You know,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's the diamond
Oh my
magic
E-girls,
god!
armor.
e-girls love that armor.
Look at his armor. I'm so wet.
I mean,
Yep.
hey,
If he had a dime for every time he heard that, holy shit.
He would still not have a dime. So anyway,
I might have 3.
yeah. But I mean, anyway, like I said, guys, like I recognize that this season, this is on me. I fucked this up, right? And I mean, we had this come out in like the main general chat channel where we were talking about this, and Astros thought it'd be a great time to drop a hard truth bomb on a guy at the end of his season about how this is his fault for not having gone earlier. And then he like tagged me and Dark and a couple other people, and I'm like, okay, shit. Now I have to respond to this. But I was like, yeah, it is though. I mean, like I could swear that everybody who, whenever I said, okay, now I have to respond to this, everybody thought I was gonna be pissed or something. But no, it's true. Like it's 100% true that had I have done this midway through the season, this wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't. Yes, those games are always going to be a problem, but I couldn't mentally reset. And then, while I wasn't playing badly enough to deserve to lose, I was I was not playing as well as I play. I was not playing to my level of play because my headspace was terrible.
it's kind of what I told him. It's like, yeah, your 0-7 mid laner doesn't deserve to win, but that doesn't stop you from having the capability to carry your 0-7 mid laner. It's like, yes, it's making the game a lot harder, but you'll see people that deserve that, like that can play to the level of those higher ranks, and they're not in their actual elo seeding that they deserve. Like playing down is a skill. Like being able to play down is something that you either have it or you don't. It's not something that the simple saying of, oh, just play carries and carry your way out isn't the fix all be all for getting yourself out of a low elo. But what it is consistency and doing everything that you can in your power to keep the rest of the ship ahead, even if you have a guy on the bottom deck removing boards as you're driving the ship. You need to have 2 or 3 people there replacing the boards as he pulls them out. Like, and it's hard, and it's not going to work every time, but your ability to limit how many of those losses that you have because you have the chimpanzee on the bottom of the boat removing the panels.
No, I'm imagining using your analogy here that like we spawn in to the intro lobby, where we're all like, you got support, you got mid, you got jungle, or whatever. It's like ting ting ting, and it's like the first guy is just like a normal sailor on the boat, and he's like hip ho, and the second guy logs in, he's like he's a sailor, hey ho. The third guy, the fourth guy, and then the fifth guy's like a literal kraken, just like, and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be one of those games. But
And yet, like your ratio of winning those games is on average is probably going to be 20% you're able to carry and 80% you're going to lose, or 25-75 of those like 5v4 games pretty much. But it's the fact that like the good player will win those 20%, while the player who is not playing to his maximum potential or like playing well will probably only win 5% of those games. And
okay,
those
on the
15% of games make a big deal.
and on the opposite end of that, if you are surrendering at 15 minutes, that's a tilt surrender. That's not a good idea. if you are in any elo less than masters, the game is totally recoverable. It is not over at 15 minutes. I will guarantee you.
Also,
Unless you literally have like it's a 5v4 or a 3v5 or something because two people have AFK rage quit, then okay, right? Those are done. But in you have no idea how many plat games, like I can think of one that my ADC rage quit because they sucked, and then they came back like 10 minutes later and moved off the fountain and started walking in circles around the second tier turret so they wouldn't get AFK flagged. That was cute. We
yeah,
won
that's
that
pretty fun.
game, by the way.
I always play imagining, like, let's say you're down 20 kills, you have no chance of winning. I always think, what if one of them DCs? You know, have that in the back of your head.
What
You
if
keep
they're
playing.
20 and
What if
1
that
guy
fed 20 and
DCs?
20 and 1 guy? What if he DCs? Can you still take this game? If the answer's no, I surrender. If the answer is yes, and I'm in a ranked game, I still think it's worth playing it out. And I think one of the other things, along with what Astros is saying, is where you have the monkey on the ship removing the planks. Sometimes you might be that monkey. Sometimes you're getting trashed in lane, and it happens. It happens to all of us. You get a bad matchup, you get counterpicked. You're 0-5. I think one of my greatest skills, because everyone knows I'm not the most mechanically apt player in the
Right.
world. I don't play mechanical champions. I'm not good at keeping track of that shit. No problem admitting it. What I do have is mental and the ability to bounce back. So let's say I get trashed in lane. I
Mhm.
know how to let other people carry me. And that is a really important skill because you can win games where you're getting trashed. The key is not to continue to dumpster yourself when you're getting trash. Get in lane, don't CS if you can't CS. Get experience, stay close enough, get levels. Do what you can under turret. If they keep diving you under turret, which I've seen over and over again, then you can hopefully, if there's 2 or 3 top destroying you for your 0-7, then your team can get an advantage elsewhere. I think that's really important. Is when you happen to be taking the boards off the ship, how about just take them off a little bit slower? Because that would really help your team out and give you a chance to win some
Yeah.
difficult games.
Use a wooden mallet instead of like a drill.
Yeah, that'll help out.
So, okay. So let's talk a little bit about that cuz like I see people lock in these kind of like I'm going to like carry or fail champions,
All right,
right?
Blake's talking about me here.
Actually, I'm not because I don't think you can fail with a collie.
60% win rate. I don't know what else to do.
So, anyway, no, I'm talking about like your Dravens or your Rivens or your I don't know, Fioras,
Yasuo's.
Yasuos, whatever. That are like, if I get ahead, I will be a monster, and if I get behind, I am fucking useless, right?
Yeah.
10 death power spike champions.
Right. And so they pick these things, and then the game doesn't go according to their plan. So they're like, well, this game's fucking over because you're not carrying it. Like, you're not going to be the guy that carries the game. And instead of shifting into a what utility can I provide someone else who is winning the game, you think, well, this is fucking dumb. I'm done. This is over. Fuck it. Right? Even Draven can save a game by throwing a good E in a team fight. You know?
Absolutely. Or ward well and like protect a lane. There's so much shit you can do in this game when you're getting trashed. And I get it. It sucks to get trashed. It's not fun. No one likes it. I'm under my turret. I've been dove for the 4th time by the Elise. They get away every time. Fucking frustrating. But it doesn't mean that you've lost all value to the game. And I think you're right. It's the carry champions, right? I'm gonna stomp. And you don't change your play style depending on the kills or the CS or the gold, you always think you're going to win every single 1v1. It doesn't matter if they're 5-0 and you're 0-5. This time I definitely got them. Like that's the shit that you need to stop because you don't. You didn't have them the previous 5 times.
Maybe
it's not
this
changing
time.
right No.
Now that I have my health potion.
Yeah, so just
I'll
don't take that
win.
1v1. Now, if the jungle comes and they double kill you, okay, that sucks. You were
Alright,
trying to get some
so,
gold, but
Here's an example. Like, I go bottom, my ADC just gets fucking straight up dumpstered. And I mean, not like your normal dumpster, but like your homeless dumpster. Like, they throw them into a metal barrel, light
got
the
some
barrel on
beans,
fire. Yeah, they light the barrel on fire, and then that warms the entire community with the amount of like sheer, like comfort, warmth, and growth that it provides, right? So I'm sitting there warming my feet on the dumpster of my ADC, going, this isn't going well. So I roam. I go mid, go top, go back mid. This is the game I'm thinking of that I did this. The jungler is trying to summon the Rift Herald, and I hook him out of the bush while he's doing the summoning ritual to stop it, and then just run. Because their jungler's fucking enormous. And I'm like, nope, twang! And then like,
I gotta go.
Get the fuck out! Stop the Rift Herald! Woo! Zoidberged my ass out of there. But I mean, shit. Like, you do what you can. Meanwhile, my ADC dies a couple more times.
Don't worry, he's only worth 12 gold at that point.
I mean, here's the thing. I can't stop that. If I were down there, would he have died? Yep. But instead, I got 3 very important things done on the map and created 3 opportunities for my team to win that game. And my ADC ripped a couple more boards off the boat. I really like that analogy, by the way.
I know, it's a great fucking analogy. You should probably leave because you're not going to say anything smarter than that the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So.
I should probably retire from the podcast because it's not getting any better than that.
So
Going out on a high note.
We should really do a razor drive for Astros because his ran out like from here to here. And that's just a shitty razor.
Yeah, he
can only make it for the upper lip and it leaves all the rest of that there.
I don't shave this. And
my
mustache doesn't connect, so I shave it in frustration, hoping that maybe one day it'll start connecting.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you let the hair get long enough, and it looks like it connects.
Well, then it just annoys me. So.
Or you just have masculine bearded sperm.
E-girls love the chin strap. Trust.
Well, I don't have much hope for society if that's true.
I hope you're right for your sake.
I'm fucked. That's why I have the diamond armor.
You gotta have the diamond armor. It's the part that covers the upper lip is the diamond armor part that I missed at the beginning of the season.
It's the upper lip armor.
Yeah, the upper lip fake mustache part. Just fills all that right in. It connects right to the chin strap.
I'm gonna go buy some Rogan's foam. I'll be right back.
They're like, take the helmet off, Astros. And you're like, no, trust me.
No, you don't. I'm a Mandalorian. I never take off my helmet.
Shit doesn't come off.
You might have to try that.
Weapons are my religion. So, that being said, guys, for all those people out there, like little PSA, whether you got your rank goal or you didn't, if you didn't, that sucks. Like, I know how you feel. There's nothing like logging into League of Legends and seeing like, congrats, you fell short of your goal. Like, cause that's what I logged in. It's like, congratulations on making it to platinum. I'm like, fuck. I like, you know what? That's a good rank. Plat's a good rank. There's nothing wrong with plat at all. You're in the top like what, 8-10%?
If you're in
cool.
Plat 1, it's the top 4%, I think.
Yeah.
At this point.
It used to be the top 8, but I don't know after they restructured everything how that changed.
Top 10 for Plat 4.
It's top 10 for Plat 4, but it moves up pretty quick.
So it's like, okay, cool. That's top 10. That's a good rank.
Oh, it's like top 12, 13%.
But nothing made me feel like shit rather than seeing that. And I know that it's just like a disappointment thing, right? And like failed expectations and it reels and it sucks. And if you don't want to feel it again, If you don't want that to happen to you again, put in the work before the deadline. Don't fucking cram session at the end of season like I did. It's stupid and it doesn't work. And everything that I could say, oh, I have kids, oh, I run a law firm, oh, I blah, blah, blah. No, I just didn't play ranked. I had a whole fucking year to do it, and I didn't play ranked. And I got it myself all the way up to Plat 1 without a duo, by myself, largely. I think I played maybe total of 15 games, like 10% of my games were duo this year, maybe max 20, right? And everybody in the podcast that I duoed with, I lost every one of those games. So I don't think I had any higher than 0% win rate. I played with Endeavor at once. He went like he made a monster top lane. He played Kled into something and just got wrecked. And it was like I am so sorry. This guy's like 8-1. I'm like, oh.
No,
And
you
this
should
is literally the
have
game that I told him I cannot afford to lose this game. You have to play well. Whatever you do, play like 60% better than you usually do. Let's go. And then, oh my god, it was so bad.
find an Akali main, find a Yasuo main, and just get Challenger. It's that easy.
Yeah, that seems fair. So, yeah, guys, I know it sucks. You know, it's a lot of pressure in the end, and like I could say the shit that people try to say to placate me, like it's just a game. It doesn't matter. It's just a but. No, it does matter. Anybody who's competitive at all, who wants something, and they try hard to get it, it matters, right? I wouldn't dare degrade your efforts by telling you that in the end it's just a game. Well, you have to be mid. It's like no, it's legit. You have the right to be upset that you missed your goal. It sucks. But if you want to do this, if you want to turn it around, we have a community of people dedicated to coaching, dedicated to making you better. We have a podcast you're listening to right now for that purpose. You know, join the Discord. Play with people that are better than you. Get better and learn from them. If you want to hit your rank goal, best way to do it.
Don't argue with me when I give you advice.
You can argue with him all you want,
Oh, yeah, you can argue a little bit.
but
He
you should probably listen if he knows what he's talking about. But sometimes he doesn't. But
I don't think I've ever not.
you'll have to figure out when to listen and when not to, which is
Yeah.
it's basically life in general. So that's okay.
You're right. Infinity Edge isn't an important item on 80 carry.
Yeah, it seems fair.
Fourth item.
Lock camera doesn't matter.
That actually doesn't matter.
Bullshit!
Dark
So anyway.
Dark is higher ranked than you on locked camera.
Dark
You can-
running
you can
lock
climb,
camera
you can
is
climb.
basically just a shame.
Yeah, so regardless, there was one time when I was playing that I got the glitch where the game locks your camera and like doesn't unlock until you drag your mouse cursor around like in a circle on the mini map.
On the minimap, yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to do that, and while I was trying to do that, I couldn't see what was going on right below me. Got murdered instantly. And I'm like, fuck lock screen. Lock screen's such a pile of shit. You have no map awareness, no concept of what's going on around you, and you're within danger range, and you literally cannot see it on your screen. Bullshit that's not. It doesn't matter. So whatever.
You
I don't
can
want to go
play
on that rant for like the 10,000th time, but it totally fucking matters, and it's a bad habit, and you should break it if you
It's
can.
not what's keeping
Put
you
effort
from
into
climbing.
it.
But yes, it is beneficial to be able to play without a locked camera. And the way to make that glitch never happen again is unbind the button to your camera lock and only bind your button to centering on screen.
Interesting.
Yep, that's what I do.
So I unbind.
And
Oh,
he's back.
Blake fucking ruined it.
That's weird. So you were saying,
We're not recording right now.
Oh shit.
It did save my thing, so don't worry
Yeah,
about
mine
that.
saved.
Okay, so that's weird. And you were saying?
Yeah, so I unbind space, which is default to centering your camera on your champion, and I rebind it to Y, which is what locks your screen, so my screen never locks.
So, wait, what? So you bound spacebar to Y,
I
basically?
bound spacebar to nothing. And then
So
I
you don't
bound
have the
Y.
like push to bind, or you made Y push to bind?
I made Y push to bind because I don't like
Oh,
using
okay.
spacebar.
So what do you just couldn't I just take Y unbound and leave spacebar the way it is? Because I kind of
Yeah,
like it.
if you use spacebar to center your champion.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
prefer
fine.
Y.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So
Because
yeah, that sounds like good advice. I might do that imminently because I don't ever want to use that button.
So for those listening, that's one of the times you should listen to Astros.
Yeah. Specifically when Danger or I say what he's saying is a good advice, then listen to it. Other
Yeah.
times, eh.
yeah, because why would you listen to the higher ranked player? Who knows?
It's kind of hard to take somebody with that facial hair seriously.
What about the hair on top of your head, Blake?
You
Or
look like
lack thereof?
no,
It
that's
does
just
look similar to the hair on top of his head.
no, that's just manliness right here. My hair is so afraid of my amount of testosterone in my body that it's hiding on my back where I can't reach it. It's just moved out of range. You see? And
Out of
better.
fear.
Yeah. You sons of bitches.
Fear will keep them in line.
Get
I
the
feel- I have
fuck off
one more
my head.
comment. And it's gonna be really fucking cheesy, but I think it's like really important. It's one of the things I posted when I dropped the hard truth bomb.
Hmm.
Let me scroll up and find it. I had it earlier and then I accidentally clicked the button.
And then I disconnected and we lost everything and all momentum.
Just another classic Lola podcast.
Dude,
So-
what's worst about this is I have no idea how long we've been going now.
Oh, I looked at it. It was
it was like
34
30,
minutes. So
yeah.
we're 34 plus
So
whatever it says.
Plus
37.
whatever. Okay.
So
Cool.
like,
This may be a 4-hour podcast because I'm like, I don't know when to stop.
one of the things that I made the comment of, it's like it doesn't really matter like how like bad your other players are doing. The only thing that is like the same game to game is how well you play, and then if you have a duo, like you control who you duo with. But like the only thing that's consistent game to game is you. So you can sit there and be like, oh, my fucking Yasuo mid's 0-7, my bot lane's 0-6, and it's like, and I mean I've done it where it's just like I don't know how I can play these games any better. I don't know what to do in these situations. And then you cool down and you got to go back and you got to watch. And sometimes it's really fucking minor things that aren't really going to make a difference in the outcome of that game, but they might make a difference in the outcome of the next game or the game after that.
Yeah.
Or the next
Like-
time you're in that situation.
So I went back to clip the clip of me like going on my fucking rant because like I wanted that rant for like a PSA for this episode. Like I was going to play it and then be like, let's talk about everything I just said, right?
And let me guess,
and-
you deleted the VOD.
No, I think it was muted
yeah.
because I had music on in the background.
That's why I stopped streaming with music.
So
I got
it's like all you can see is me going like video podcast people enjoy, but all you see is me going like
So Blake is currently flailing his arms
Yeah.
around.
like angrily emphasizing points that cannot be understood or heard. But I'm like do and like you can tell when I'm making fun of the ADCs because I'm pretending to be them and doing things like this. Like I don't want to get any kills. I'm a big fat puss. Do 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 do. Look at my budding boobies. You know, like these kind of things. But like realistically though, yeah, that VOD's gone. I wish it was there, but as I was going through it to try to find it, I'm watching my play and I'm like, could have been more aggressive there. Could have tried to get a kill here. But the reason I didn't do that is because I was in a defeatist mindset. Like, I didn't think I was going to get followed up on. I didn't think anybody was going to do the things that they should have done. So I stopped pinging, go in, I'm going. And I just stopped going in. And then it caused me to play more defensively than I ever would.
Yeah, and I
Like,
think Astro's point is really good about working on your own game. So in a game where I'm 4-16, right, top, mid, whatever, maybe even our lane has been trashed, I choose a skill that I know I'm lacking at, and I actively work on that skill. And that takes some self reflection and analytics of your own, right? I know, for instance, I'm not the best roamer. Even when I have a good lead, or even when I know that mid is my win condition, I don't always roam at the right time. I don't always roam enough. So we're down 4-16. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure to get some deep wards, and I'm going to try and roam mid as much as I can this game in areas where I think it makes sense. And so then I just roam mid, roam mid, roam mid, just because I know it's an area of my game that's lacking. If you already think that a game might be lost anyway, why not improve on some of your skills? So that's one area that I know that, you know, like I lack in. Or maybe I'll be like, I should follow up with the jungler. They're going into their jungle. So I'll just leave my lane, follow with the jungler, because sometimes that's a very good thing to do. Sometimes it's not, but it's something I need to become more accustomed with as a support. So choose a skill, choose something that maybe it's just warding. Maybe get a deep ward and go back to lane. And then you can be like, that was a really good ward. You know, that was smart. Look at, now I can ping the junglers there right now. We know that maybe Dragon's safe to take. You know, like little things that can really improve your game. Now, maybe that game's lost, like Blake said. Maybe no matter what, that game's going to be over, but you've now incrementally increased a skill of your own. The next game you use well, and you end up pulling out a victory because of it. So I think that's a really smart and a way to help keep yourself from tilting. Be like, all right, this game's fucking lost, so let's try and work on me. Let's do me. You
it's
know,
an
like,
incremental, measurable, achievable short-term goal that
yep,
you can actually make something positive out of it. So let's say, like, you know, you want to learn how to shave. You might want to practice on your upper lip, and then once you get good at that, maybe do the rest. You know,
I do this. I do this.
yeah, yeah.
Not
So
with
once you
really
get that
any
solid
care.
line in there, you may just go a little bit further next time and get the
What
rest of
I
that.
actually do under my neck, who knows? It
Yeah,
might
who
be
knows? Maybe one day.
yeah.
You know,
I think you can eventually achieve that skill.
right?
So I pulled up a
Practice.
quote. I
You turn
found the
the
quote.
razor upside down.
Just
Yeah, you
shut the
go.
fuck up. I found the quote. It's from Double Lift. And this is real, and this is the type of shit that like you post on Tumblr and you make it your computer background, the really deep, meaningful stuff. Usually there's like a beautiful background, you know?
Like a cat hanging from a tree, and it's like, just hang on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like really
Or like
cheap.
a frog strangling a stork, and it says, never give up.
All right, so it's from Double Lift, and it's I think it's stupid the way people approach solo queue just by saying, "Oh, my team sucks." You don't play solo queue to get your team better. You play solo queue to get yourself better. Anytime you die, it's almost exclusively your fault. You can always play better, and you can't change your team. And by getting yourself better, you're able to carry your team, raise elo, and then your teammates will be better. So very, very Tumblr-esque, but it's like it's the same thing. It's like, yeah, you can sit there and spend your time blaming your team, and you might be right. Your team might be the reason you lost, but it doesn't mean you played perfect.
It's legit.
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of double lift, let's talk about the LCS, because everything's going fucking bonkers right now.
I
And
love
I think
it.
it's possibly the most exciting. Well, okay, before we do that, we'll do an episode about pre-season patch and everything changing, right? I want to say one thing, and I think we can each take a turn. So think of what you guys want to talk about the preseason. We'll just talk about our first impressions, one thing each. Does that
Okay.
sound cool?
I'm good with that.
Okay, I'm going to go. Dragons are now a meaningful objective. I enjoy the fact that there's a mechanic in the game that if you are ahead, you can use it to snowball in a meaningful way and shut down the game if you dominate it. So by that I mean, if you get 4 or 5 dragons, game's over.
You get the execute.
Yeah, you get the execute. The game is literally over at that point. It creates a way to transition an early lead and map control into winning that's not barren. It's like an almost overpowered, unfuck-upable Baron, right?
Yeah, because now you just fight.
Yeah, now
You
you just
don't,
fight,
you're
and
not
then you
splitting.
win.
You're not 1-3-1ing with Baron buff or 1-4ing with Baron buff. It's just we can just group and end the fucking game, and then take the towers after we kill everyone.
Right.
I think
And
the
I think,
power of neutral objectives is really, really good this season. Like
yeah,
with the addition of the double herald. I
yeah.
like the lethality item changes. As a person who plays a lot of assassins, Danger witnessed my 80 lethality Kazakhs, and it's fantastic. I love it.
It was disgusting, and I felt very bad for everyone who tried to kill him. But it was really funny from my end.
I think jungle is really fucking strong this season because they took out catch up XP. They balanced the jungle's map to be you can level 3 off of either side of the map now. I don't know. I don't have many complaints.
Well, no, what about the lethality? You said that was your thing. So, which of the new lethality items is your jam?
I just like having more than 3. Like the most awkward thing about playing assassins is percent pen isn't really great. Like it's good on like some champions, some assassins like Zed and Kha'Zix, you'll end up going the Cleaver or the Lord Doms. But it's like just being able to build all pen items, and a lot of them, like you have Dustblade, which still has the enhanced damage when you come out of stealth. Then they shared the passive to another lethality item, so now you have the insta ward clear, and then you have Knight's Vow. You don't have to cast it earlier; it's just on like a Banshee's Veil until it's broken, and then it comes.
You mean Edge of Night, right?
Edge of Night, yeah. Sorry. And then a lot of the other ones, I think they're really like one-off, but I think they're really interesting because it increases.
What do you
your
think about the Sanguine Blade one? The one that is like if there's nobody around, then you get like a whole bunch of bonus shit.
They've already hotfixed it because it was ruining games. I'm hoping it'll probably end up getting tuned down a little bit more. But yeah, it was basically making it so if you had the Sanguine Blade, it had like a gold value of like 230% or something like that if you were on your own. And it's making split pushers just too strong because you have to send 2 or 3 people to do shit against them if they have the Sanguine Blade. So they've hotfixed it already, so I'm interested to see if that gets a little bit better, but I think it's going to need another nerf. I like the idea of the item. It's just way too strong right now because it's making split pushers just almost invincible when they're out there. If you don't have it yourself. Now, if you have it yourself, then it's just 2 Sanguine Blades going at it. But
and that's another thing. It's like the way to counter the item is just to group on the split pusher because then he doesn't get the stats because it's one enemy champion or none enemy champions and you get the stats. If 2 show, you don't get the stats and the gold value just drops. You're only getting the flat damage and lethality.
Yep.
But it makes it so like now when a mid laner buys Hourglass or an AD carry buys Tabbies, like your lethality, if you have full lethality items, you can just break through it. You don't have to go into these less damage heavy like Cleavers or Lord Doms to be able to get through it, which I like. It forces them to either respect you more or they have to build like double defensive.
I'd say what I like about the new season. Oh, sorry, you were going to
No, the only thing I was going to say about lethality is just a quick PSA. Lethality is not a counter to armor stacking. Those are not the people that you're trying to kill with lethality. It helps because it reduces 1-for-1 the value of buying armor.
You don't build lethality into tanks. You build it into squishies.
That's what I'm getting
at. That's why you don't build lethality on bruisers. You build it on assassins.
Yep. And that's really important because then you build percent armor items against tanks.
Yep.
But the thing I like in the new season, I'll do 2 real quick. I like the new idea for support gold items that I don't have to continue to waste money to upgrade those.
I'm not 100% sold on that.
I'm not sold on it yet, but I like the idea of it. I don't know if the tuning's correct on it, but I at least like the idea that I don't have to sink in another 950 gold into my support item.
I think the biggest thing on that is like the weird thing about it is, yes, you upgrade it, and you're able. It's kind of fucking your gold value, because as a support, you take a big hit in the early game upgrading your support item, but your support item would work all the way through the game. Now you get the gold influx of not having to upgrade your support item in the beginning of the game, but you lose its generation in the late game. So it's kind of a trade-off there, but I kind of like it in terms of like at higher elos, because it allows for more like rotations. It allows for better like vision, early objectives.
Okay.
I think it's going to go into like a really early game meta in the start of the season. I think it's going to be like supports are going to be massive this season.
So my thoughts is like I hate the quest-based systems. I don't like them because I'm dependent on somebody else to cash in my quest shit. I don't like that. I do like the very basic version that I've gone from like, oh, you have these 3 support items that upgrade once each, and then from there you do a quest and they upgrade again, and woohoo! Like, I didn't like that system, but I think making everything questy doesn't really solve that problem that I've got with that, right? So I don't love the quests because I lose agency on what I want to upgrade. Like if I want to put money into wards, I should be able to do that. But now I literally can't have a sightstone item without doing some sort of doofy quest that I may or may not be able to get depending on how brain dead my ADC is. And if they let me last hit cannon minions, you know, or whatever. So that I think is a problem. I really like the whole like dichotomy. It's like, oh, it's either aggressive and hit points or aggressive AD, aggressive AP, defensive AD, defensive AP. I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Like I love that.
We already had the stupid quests, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But if you're gonna have the dumb quests, I like the newer system rather than the older system.
I also like the fact that on my first back most of the time, I can buy Mobies. That's super good. That feels amazing. And I have always been a fan of like, let me make meaningful early game choices so that I can do stuff better. So I don't mind the trade-off of stable gold income in, like getting an early game boost for late game consistent gold income. That doesn't so much bother me. In fact, I would pick it if I were given the option of, like you could have 1,000 gold now or 2,000 gold later. I would take 1,000 gold now because every game I'm going to take that 1,000 gold and try to make it into something more anyway. That's my style. Is I will take that money and invest it in myself, right? Because I think I can generate a bigger return. So
Yep.
I'm cool with that. Like I like that direction that they take. I just really hate the fact that they doubled down on the quest thing. I really don't like that.
Yep, that's fair. I also think the dragons are interesting. The effects they have to the rift. I wasn't sold on it when they came out with it as an idea, but so far I haven't found it detrimental. So
I'm still out on
I'm
the
interested to
whole.
see where that goes. Yeah.
I'm still out on the whole. We changed the rift. More bushes, less bushes. More paths, less paths. I don't. I don't know. I don't really feel like it's.
So far I haven't found it very impactful.
That's the thing. Is like okay, so I thought it was either going to be much more impactful than it is, which then I'm disappointed that it doesn't really have as much of an effect, right? But if it did have an effect, I would be bitching that it's too impactful and makes the game RNG, right? I don't think making like, and I'm air quoting this for everybody who's listening, neat visual changes of the map adds appeal. It feels like it just throws in random strange change. And by the way, what's your opinion of the alcoves?
No, they have no purpose.
I think they're the stupidest thing.
I don't think they changed. Like, I don't care that they're in.
They
I
just
feel
have
like
no purpose.
I've seen some plays bot lane where like you're able to kite a little like more creatively, like you can flash into the bush and then walk into the alcove if they don't have vision of the bush right like at the nipple of the alcove. If they don't have like you can do like some cool stuff, but it's not impactful enough to it's like, wow, I'm mad this is in the game, or wow, I'm happy this is in the game. It's just kind of like whatever.
Okay, so I'm mad it's in the game.
Yeah, because you have to ward 2 bushes now.
Right.
Or 3 bushes.
Or
if you
3
want
bushes.
if you want something in all of them. But
right. That's why I'm mad it's in the game. I honestly don't care about the alcove itself. The fact that there's a 3rd bush there is fucking maddening to me.
Yeah.
Because
I think the alcove has no meaning. I think it was purposeless.
I think it's a net neutral. I'm indifferent on the situation.
Well, like it used to feel relevant laning, warding a lane bush in bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get 3 feet of I can see this. You know what I mean?
It's made it so the only ward that matters is getting the deep one.
Yeah. So
you
and
have to get the
because
deep
then
ward.
I can tell if a jungler is coming in through that route. That's it.
Exactly. It's the only one that has purpose.
Well, like I said, and then the others will have purpose if you're fighting in that bush. And that's it. And I don't, like, it used to be a meaningful choice. Do I ward river and protect from a gank, or do I ward the lane bush? Now I don't feel like warding the lane bush really has all that much value. I mean, it does have value. It can turn a fight if you don't have vision during the fight.
Yep.
But
it's like the extra bush in jungle. The bush in jungle is fucking useless. Unless you can get in it really early and set up an invade, or you can use it as like a counter invade bush. But like other than that, the bush is fucking useless.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why you would have it. It doesn't add anything.
Like, I mean, you can ward it, you can pink ward it in the enemy jungle, and now they have to walk into there to clear it, rather than just like warding the entrance to blue, like from river. So you have that, but it's nothing like, I don't know. I'm indifferent on a lot of the map changes, and I'm undecided on how I feel about the dragon changes to the map, because I've played like 5 or 6 games, and I've gone Infernal 4 times and Cloud twice. So I haven't seen Ocean or...
I had Ocean twice today. I've had Cloud once, and I didn't notice the movement speed.
It's only at...
It's only in certain...
I know, it's only in the circle around all the buffs, basically.
Yeah.
And so I didn't notice it. I was running through, and I'm like... I was expecting to be like, whee! As I ran through that area, it just nothing.
That's the best I can say, though, is I was worried that the elemental dragon things were going to really fuck things up. And so I thought it was going to suck. And then so far, I found that I don't care about them at all, which to me is a win, because my mindset was already that it sucked. So if I find out that it's just blah, that's way better than sucking.
Okay, so oddly enough, I'm with you on that, but I also think if that's the case and just blah is a win, then it's something that you never should have done.
Agreed, 100%. But I thought that originally, so I'm just happy I don't hate it as much as I thought I would.
I feel like they have to do something new now, and this is their change of this is their new thing where it's flashy enough to be like, this is the bigger changes to Season 10. You got alcoves and dragons change the map, and I'd rather them fuck that shit than fuck the meta, like incredibly. Just make it shit.
We added 8 more blue shell mechanics.
Yeah, like
no.
And here's the thing. It's like, I don't care so much about the dragon changing the map. I care about how impactful dragon is again. Because back when it used to be fucking gold, like, those dragon fights were fun. Because, like, you can't just give the enemy team every dragon, or they just get, like, a 4K gold lead. And it's like, well, now we just lose. It forces a fight, and I think it's going to force fights in pro play, which is going to be fun to watch. And I think it's going to be force fights in solo queue, which will hopefully snowball games quicker, so there's less 45-minute games. That's my hope.
Yeah, I just hope that, like, honestly, this last season felt awful to me because it didn't matter if you got an early lead.
Yeah,
and it like
Herald, and then that was it. Now you wait 20 minutes until Baron.
Right. I mean, it just didn't feel like early leads mattered or early leads translated into anything because the game is so team focused
Yeah.
in the end of season meta. That's again, I'm not talking about preseason because shit changed a little, but shit was so team focused that it didn't feel like the best player was winning. It felt like the worst player was losing every game,
Mhm.
right? And that sucks. That's a shitty feeling. It to me, like everyone's like, "Well, I don't want to get crushed." And like, dude, then do the crushing. Get good enough to where you're the can crusher and not the fucking can.
Get
Like,
good.
yeah, well, I mean, seriously though. Like, I don't. You have to understand that if you say, I want to be able to come back from anything, then you're also saying, I want everybody who I'm beating to be able to come back from this. And I don't think anybody would say that. I think everybody would say, I want to be able to come back from everything, but also when I'm ahead, I want to clearly win. Well, like, you can't do both those things, right?
Well, why
And I
not?
think
Can't have your cake and eat it too.
right,
Well,
like
damn
we
it.
we have gone to this like weird, stupid season 9 horseshit that was like early leads don't matter. You know, it just really matters how you team fight, and it really matters kind of how you play the mid to late. And that was it. That's what felt like the whole season to me,
Which is
right?
hard to fucking do when you don't have comms.
Yeah, which is hard to do when you don't have comms. So how do you play a team focused game without team play?
Pings. They're
That's
great.
it. I mean that's it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean realistically though, that to me right there in a nutshell is why this season felt so rough.
I think this season felt really rough for like a lot of different things. One, this was the season of broken. You have
Yeah.
so many power picks, so many. You can't ban them all. There's just no way. You have to play against an unfun kid every game.
I looked at, by the way, on that note, I looked at my last like X amount of ranked games before I quit the climb because at some point I did the math and I'm like, at a 60% win rate, I would have to play like 150 games to get into diamonds, and I in 2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like so
You
it's
just didn't
over.
try.
Yeah, it's like it's over. And I mean, I wrote it out until I literally could not play anymore, right? So it wasn't that I gave up early. It's just not, it wasn't possible. Even if I won out, I would have to win like 26 games in a row in order to get there. It's like that's just not going to happen. Like
Yeah.
it's just not in 2 days. That's definitely not going to happen.
Take off
But
work.
but like outside of all that, I looked at those games that I played. Echo was in every single game.
Echo's fucking busted right now.
Yeah, he
And
was in every game I played for like 10 or 15 games in a row.
and there's so much other shit you have to ban. Like it's and I hope that they like calm down on some of the power picks in the next season. It doesn't look like they're going to.
Oh, you mean the direction they're taking with like Senna is smart because they're making them really weak?
Yeah, exactly. And they already have the next champions. And
I'm giving you a, there you go.
So if
There's
it's
your high
anything
five.
like if it's anything like Kaiser or Zaya, at least there'll be 3 top 80 carry picks. So you'll have the possibility to ban one and still be able to play 2 others. So
Yeah.
Why not just delete all of the old AD carries from the game? They just don't. What's the point? Just come out with new AD carries and delete the old ones because that's basically what they want you to do.
Carries with movement abilities, CC, execute damage, a get out of jail free card, invisibility, percent max health damage. That
global.
Global ults, you know?
Global ults.
Stacking passive.
Yeah, there's a lot fucked up this season, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change for season 10. But here's to hoping.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
it's
Like,
specifically the ADC, in my opinion, is their biggest problem right now.
like
And
here's
at
the
least
thing
in pro
though.
play.
I have hope for this because of Dragon. I mean, that is a change that you can literally take and convert map control into game win definitively. And because it was Dragon and Jungle Catch-Up EXP. Those are the two things that I think allow a meaningful open door. Like dragons feel like they matter again.
Yep.
They
Do you
do.
remember like like maybe a season or two ago where they were fucking with dragons, and like there was a point in the game where if you got XYZ dragon, game's done, you just win. And it was like ludicrously strong, but then some of the other dragons were absolutely pointlessly weak.
Hey, what are you doing?
Uh, this feels like that again. All right, hey Astros family, how are you guys? How are them dogs?
Oh,
Good.
Well, thank you.
Great.
We know we are.
Debatable.
Okay, with that, we'll wrap it up. We're at hour 4. I guess we'll talk about the LCS next time, which
Yeah, that's a
sucks
good-
because it's
good plan.
super intense right now, and I was just super jazzed to talk about it.
I mean, do we want to talk like every person quick goes over like their 2 favorite changes or something?
Yeah, okay, I'm in.
I'm into.
Go, do it.
I'm really happy Biofrost is back on TSM, and I'm
Okay.
really happy Meteos is back on 100T. And depending on which team I like better is who I'm rooting for next season. I've decided.
I really hope that 100T picks up Sneaky so that Astros will have to decide whether he wants to root for him or not, because he really likes Sneaky. Don't get him wrong. He just hates everything about Sneaky.
I
And
hate.
Sneaky's the worst ADC in the LCS according
Yes,
to Astros.
even though we could accidentally name 6 that were worse last season. Just,
No,
just up to-
I agreed on 2 or 3 of them. 'Cause
no,
I
you agreed
forgot-
on 5 of them.
No, I agreed on
He's
Arrow.
the worst in the LCS. We're like, what about like Arrow?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
Arrow.
yeah, no, he sucks.
I forgot Arrow,
And-
and I forgot.
Apollo. And Wild Turtle.
Bang,
Wild Turtle. I forgot.
Bang.
Wild Turtle,
I still put Bang above Sneaky.
which means you don't watch the game, but that's okay.
You're right. I've never watched LCS in my life.
He's too busy
What move am
shaving
I
his
excited
upper
for?
lip to watch all those LCS games is what it was.
Here's the big thing. So there's rumors. Apparently, there's been
You already
rumors.
had your
of-
2.
I
Stop
know,
talking.
but I want to talk about this.
You already had your 2. Shut the fuck up.
You're not good with the count. See,
Well,
1.
didn't you try and make 2 things you liked about the preseason changes? So I get to make 3 about.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make 1 then.
Yeah, that's
Cover
true. You
for
did.
your ass.
You did snag
hurry
an
up and
extra
go.
preseason change.
So as of so on the website I'm at, it has like confirmed and then it has rumors. So according to Jacob Wolf and TSM, Dardoch is a rumor for TSM to pick up in the jungle.
It's
And
not.
so
It was
is Amazing.
announced today. I thought.
I thought it was announced as well.
Who they picked?
But maybe
in the
not.
jungle.
What?
Okay. Is that your 3rd, or do you have a 4th as well?
Wait, who they picked in the jungle was announced?
Okay, so
It's Dardoch, right?
Oh,
Dardoch.
fuck, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm so happy right now.
Okay,
They're in
good.
a buyout agreement with Dardoch, but this fuck, dude. And
So-
okay.
I'm
Thoughts?
interested to see. I'm interested to see what Broxa does for TL. I don't know if it's a good move. I think Broxa's much more mechanically apt than Xmithy. I don't know what his champion pool is going to be like, and if he was shoehorned on Fnatic to play certain things, or if he's got a bigger pool. But mechanically speaking, he's a lot better than Xmithy, and that was definitely something that was lacking. So if he can get some good synergy, I think that could be really dangerous for TL.
I mean, he's not that old, so he has
No,
a
I
lot
mean,
of growing
he's
room.
young.
He has a lot of growing room. With Xmithy, was kind of Xmithy.
He also has the face for NA. What do you got, Blake?
Okay. So by the way, this just came out a few minutes ago. Xmithy's in Immortals now.
That came out
Yeah.
a couple hours ago.
What? I just saw it.
I saw it when I was at work.
Oh shit, you're right. Okay, I missed that one.
It came out a couple minutes ago to you.
That was
It's
right
new
as
to
the
you.
Dardoch TSM announcement hit.
Yeah, I
the
don't know how I
curveball.
didn't get that.
I don't know how you didn't get that one either.
So if they pick up Kavi, dude, TSM's gonna have a good lineup.
I
Copy
mean-
would be a pick up for them.
Okay, so I thought the Sven pickup was really weird, and I don't like it.
Nope.
You shouldn't like it. I
And
didn't like it when TSM picked it either.
It doesn't make it doesn't make any sense to me. How you're using an import slot for Sven ADC. I'd rather have fucking FBI on GGS. You know, like it. I agree. I think it's very weird. Maybe he was being held back by TSM. Maybe he didn't have good synergy there. Maybe
I
he can
don't think
pick
so.
it back up.
Because they
But-
had that Double Lift interview where Double Lift was talking about Sven and Sneaky and all that, and he's like, the problem that he's like, I beat all those guys. This is Double Lift saying that. I beat all these guys. But if I make a mistake and I lose something to Sneaky, he causes pain. He takes that lead and expands it and takes over the game. He's that kind of player that you cannot let get ahead. He's like, but with Sven, if I died to Sven, we go back and it's the exact same lane all over again. And I'm bullying him and I'm trading with it. I'm doing all the winning. And he's just taking whatever CS. And it's like it never happened that I died. He does
and
not
people-
take over the game. He plays safe-ish, I guess. And that was his statement about Sven.
Yeah,
If
people are
another
complaining
80
like
Yeah, go
C9 is like they're like, oh, you just don't want them to change and you want them to keep with the old guard. No, if they brought in some like 18-year-old stud who's like lighting up like solo queue or something like that, then you would at least understand the direction they're taking. They're like, we want to get young, we want to go mechanical, we want to see if this works out. But removing Sneaky, whatever, he didn't have a good Worlds, that's fine. I still think he was a top 3 ADC last year in NA, and you take him out and then you put in what was a bottom 5 ADC, and then you say, but things are going to change. I don't fucking get that. I just don't.
So the thing with Sneaky is they really burned a bridge with him, and like his stream, he talked about it.
Yeah.
That he's like, when they benched me, that essentially pissed him off. Bad enough that he was like, I don't think I should have to compete for my spot. And then everybody's like, well, that's arrogant. They ain't treating him right, and all this.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a good attitude to have as a player. In fact, I know it's not a good attitude to have as a player. But I also feel like he's also justified in a certain way. Like, the other ADC they had wasn't better.
No.
And I don't know what his mentality issues were, or if he didn't want to practice, or if he didn't want to. There's 100 reasons to bench a player, right? And you don't know.
Benched
what's-
on lack of drive and motivation.
Right. And I mean, you don't know what's going on in a team house unless you're a part of it, or unless there's like a Breaking Point documentary that gets released at the end of the season. Yee.
Well, he
Which,
talked
by the way,
about-
I'm super worried about Dardoch. Like, I don't think that guy ever cured those issues.
I don't think he has to cure his issues.
I think he'll actually fit in on TSM because I feel like Dardoch mentality is TSM's mentality as a team.
I feel like the reason Dardoch will fit in is because he's not going to roll over like TSM junglers normally do. Like, I feel like the only junglers that I'd want to see on TSM is Dardoch and probably
Santorin.
Amazing. Yeah, maybe Santorin. I still feel like he might give in a little bit, but like these are players that have like really strong heads that aren't gonna just budge to budge. They're gonna like fight for what they think, and they'll demand stuff from people on the team, which isn't what I feel like most of.
I
TSM
think
junglers
if TSM starts off hot, it'll be really good. And I think if they start off cold, you could see a lot of implosion.
Well, I mean, it's like last season.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very similar.
my biggest fear for Cloud9, because I know that's your guys' team, is like I look at that lineup. You have Licorice, who is obviously the best player on that lineup.
Yep.
You have Blabber, who is a great early game jungler, but he can't play late game. So if they can't fix that issue, that's going to be a big problem. Granted, maybe with the hyper like snowball that is somewhat prevalent right now in preseason, despite being like a day in. Maybe it works out. You have Niski, who is like a fine mid laner, but he's using an import slot and he's not insane. He has a champion pull issue. Like, he's not a bad mid laner. He was probably top 3 last split.
Right, but that's just top 3 NA. And if you're
Yeah.
like 3rd in NA, you're like 50th in the world. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you're wasting your other import slot on Sven.
right,
who
that's
hasn't looked
my
good
biggest
in
problem.
2-3 years. And then you have Vulcan, who looked good, but I feel like he looked good because he was playing with Cody.
By the way, what this is total non sequitur. Forgiven. He's gonna be back in the LEC.
I've heard stuff like so much of Forgiven coming back. I think
No, it was
skill-wise,
announced.
he's fine.
No, it was
Skill-wise,
announced
I
that
think he's
on some
fine.
team.
I don't know what team. Like, he has a very strong characteristic to him that is going to be really hard to fit into a team nowadays,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
especially
Yeah.
with franchising.
And I
is a
agree. I agree
franchise
with your
player.
C9 points though. I don't see unless they just gel much better than the last team. I don't see an upgrade over last season. I just don't.
So Sneaky said this on stream, and this is really surprising to me. Sneaky said that players on the roster didn't want to play with Sneaky again.
Yeah. That was
Which
the
Niski came out and said it's not just licorice. So to me, it means it's licorice and Niski. And if you're choosing Niski over Sneaky, I don't fucking get that because I don't
feel
think
like you
Niski's all
can't
that
lose
good.
licorice. You can't lose licorice at all.
Agreed.
And I mean, I feel like if you're Sneaky is a franchise player. He is a player that is the face of C9. Everyone knows Sneaky and C9. They go hand in hand. It's like High and C9 went hand in hand.
Yep.
Stuff like that. If you have a player like that who doesn't have the motivation that the rest of his team has, he's older. He's been competing for fucking 6-7 years. Like, you have this young talent that wants to drive. I don't feel like letting go of Sneaky is like turning their back on him. I feel like Sneaky's lack of drive is like a backstab to his team.
I think Sneaky getting replaced by Sven feels pretty shitty, and so he's like, you're replacing me with that guy. Like what have you seen what he's been doing? So like, and then you're saying, oh, but you can compete for your spot versus that guy. Like I do think that's a slap in the face. Now, if don't get me wrong, if they brought in someone good, then you could be like, okay, that makes some sense. Like mentally, you can get past it. Then you can be like, oh, I get it. That guy's mechanically strong. That guy's, an up and comer. No, you went for another old ADC. You wasted an import slot on it, and he wasn't that good. So like, unless he gets significantly better, I don't get that move. And I understand Sneaky being like, you're no, fuck you. I'm not competing.
Yeah, it feels like it's like you're gonna compete
slots on a goddamn ADC instead of fixing some other issues. Like,
right. It feels like you're gonna go box with Glass Joe for your boxing spot on the team. Like, yeah, he goes down to a star punch, coach, and he doesn't block. Doesn't matter. Get out there and compete. Best one takes it. And they said that Sven was going to be the starter unless Sneaky...
He was going to compete for time.
Right,
yeah.
and no. They said Sven was going to be the starter
unless
Sneaky was able to turn it.
Yep.
Which, I coach ice hockey, that's not something that's unheard of in, like, any competitive environment. If you're not willing to put the work in of the guy next to you, you're not going to get the opportunities that the guy next to you is going to get.
Yeah, but at the top level, if you're talking like top level, any sport, you have your people who have been around a while, and they don't deem it worthy to compete against a shitty opponent. And if you try and tell LeBron James, you have to compete for time versus this guy, just because he's young and he's good, right? That wouldn't go over well. But if you say you have to compete for time for this guy, he's old and he's worse than you, but we're planning on starting him anyway, that would tilt anyone, in my opinion.
I think both
it
parties
all boils down to me
right.
is who it was. If you are bringing in double lift and you're saying you have to compete for time, you know what? That makes fucking sense. And maybe he decides he wants to or he doesn't. But it's a really questionable move.
I feel like
we got to wrap this up. We
are
could talk about this for another hour, but it's. To me, I don't love what C9 looks like right now, even though I like C9 as an org. I don't understand. And Sven Skaren is a whole nother thing. Like, I don't fucking get that. You have the MVP and you don't play him, and then you get rid of him. It's dumb shit. But let's move on. This is why we shouldn't have started this in the first place.
No, I like this.
I don't
This
have
is
anything
fun.
better to do, so
Yeah, we can always go a little long. People don't mind that as long as you don't go like a full 2 hours, and it's only been an hour and 20, so I consider this bonus content for everybody. But yeah, no. So that was my first. Was I thought the Sven trade didn't make any sense at all, and then the other trade is getting rid of Sven, not Sven, Sven.
well, you
Uh,
can't have both of them on the same team. So they're
right. It
like,
would be
the team
confusing for the
doesn't, the team
commentators.
doesn't want to play with Sneaky, so we have to get Sven, or we have to get Sven. So we have to get rid of Sven to keep the name balance.
Well,
So
it's like, okay, so I understand you have Blabber, and Blabber's not bad.
No, I mean, I think what they're seeing is Blabber's a beast in solo queue, right? He rose the highest of any NA player when they were scrimming in EU, right? When they were solo queuing, Blabber was number one.
the reason Blabber has always been good is he's mechanically insane. He's a super good mechanical NA talent jungler, and like he just rolls early game. Like from 0 to 15 minutes, Blabber is gonna win you that like 9 times out of 10. The problem is Blabber can't play anything late, and the reason they have to has to either A, pick up an NA80 carry, which there's no good NA80 carries up for offer right now because Dig snapped Cody and TL still has double. So you're either forced to get rid of Niski or you're forced to get rid of Svenskeren because of your import rule. Because Sven is still an
Niski.
Yeah, you get rid of Niski, in my opinion. Because what you need is someone experienced and a good shot caller so that they can help control Blabber, right? If you're gonna say Blabber is your like your exciting mechanical player, but he's not that good late, who's calling the shots on that team? Is it fucking Sven at this point? Because that's what I think it's gonna boil down to.
I mean, it might actually.
It's not Vulcan. I'll tell you, it's not Vulcan. He's too young right now.
It's not gonna be Vulcan. It might be Licorice. Licorice might become your IGN. Licorice might become the way.
I like Licorice more as a carry that doesn't have to worry about what's going on everywhere at all times. This is just my personal opinion.
Oh, he's a super good player, and we saw this problem when Double started getting given roles of being an IGN when he was on TSM. His play declined. And
I'm worried about that happening to Licorice. So what do you need? You need a mid that's making those calls. I just don't think it's Niski. I didn't understand Niski to begin with. I don't understand Niski now. Like if you use that both their import slots suck is what I think it boils down to, because you should be able to get better imports.
It's fine. Because Svenskeren is a jungle import. He's from EU.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
That
he's
was
saying
their best.
Now both of their imports suck.
Now both their imports suck.
Because they have a mid import
who's not going to get better. Like if you brought in like say Humanoid, like a 19-year-old that's on an upswing, right? Or you know how last year there was like Larson, Nemesis, Humanoid coming out of the EU, right? If you brought in the next round, right? There's got to be another 17-year-old fucking crushing EU solo queue right now that can speak English, right?
We had any scouting grounds. Like honestly, C9 is made to be the team that breeds NA talent. Fucking Cat Evolved was your #1 mid laner at Scouting Grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Cat Evolved.
Scouting Grounds is a fucking joke.
What do you lose in this situation by picking up Cat Evolved? Like,
you realize that Cat Evolved just got replaced on Twitch Rivals because he didn't communicate at all with his team.
Well, that's because
zero communication. He's like, I'm done, and they replaced him with Heisen Dong.
Like he talked about going pro before.
Yeah, that was my exact response, Penguin. It's like, you what?
And like, I don't know what other mid you get because I don't think you're gonna be able to pry these.
No, you're not gonna pry those three. You're not prying any of them. I'm saying you find that next one. There's always another. Like NA doesn't bring in young new talent, and if you have an import slot and you're using it on an old, treaded mid and ADC, then I don't think that's gonna win you shit. That import slot has a ton of fucking value because no one in NA has value, right? So if NA is a dead region that doesn't produce any fucking talent, then your import slots are way more important than they ever were before. And you're using it on a palatable mid and a less than palatable ADC. Like that's a huge fucking waste.
C9 should have just used Golden Glue and imported another jungle.
Okay,
Yeah.
why does everybody think
I'd rather
that
have
he's good? He's never been good. He had like one good game in the LCS where they hyped him up for like a whole bunch of videos. Golden Glue went hyperbolic time chamber and Korean solo queue, and by God, he's amazing. And then he comes back, and he plays like one LCS game, and he does really well in like one game.
What do you mean? He
And
played
then-
like 4 games with the
I
Sword.
don't think Golden Glue is really good. I
don't think
think
he's good,
I just
but-
don't think Niski is, and I don't think he's worth an import slot. That's just all it boils down to.
Yeah, that's what
You
that's
have-
what I'm saying. Or you pick up DeMonte here.
Yeah,
and
you pick up
another-
DeMonte for sure. I'd take DeMonte over Niski, probably straight up. Not even counting import slots.
I think Niski is a better carry on his picks, but I think
But I don't need
DeMonte-
a carry mid. I have
Yeah.
Licorice. And I have Sven. So, he's going to carry the fuck out of the game.
you get a
Yeah.
carry jungler. You get an import carry jungler, and you just have the strongest fucking top side in the NALCS.
Yeah,
Because
I
no
do
one
that
else can contest you.
Yeah, sure. And then
Except
you got
for
Sven,
maybe
who
Richardson.
can't
Maybe
carry a
Richardson.
sack of pillows. And doesn't matter. That's what.
It's C9 made, in my opinion, the most confusing moves of the offseason. Now, I hope it works out for him because I am a C9 fan, but I
Yeah.
am very critical of everything that they've done this offseason. I don't get it.
Danger, let me ask you something. Someday was announced as the starter top lane for 100T again, so they're not using Fake God.
Yep.
Someday still takes up an import. So does Bang. Did Bang go to EG?
Yes.
So now, do you import a mid to replace Rio, or do you import an AD?
I replace Ryu. He's fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, but
Or I get DeMonte in mid, and then I import an AD.
what AD would you import? Because Kabe is off the table. Because I'm almost guaranteeing you he's going to be TSM's last announcement.
I don't know who's available in EU right now. I know Upset was already picked up
Sadly,
by OG.
Mhm.
If not Upset, I would have thrown the fucking bank at. That guy is insanely good, and I think he would be worth every penny. I think you're going to see him really thrive in OG. Patrick's still available because he's out at OG. I would bring in Patrick.
Like these last few changes for TSM and 100T are going to be really important for how their year goes, and I'm also really interested to see what the fuck Dig is doing.
No one knows.
We forgot to talk about the biggest thing is that Huni got a guaranteed $2.3 million contract for 2 years. The only other person they kept is Cody, and then their coach. So you have to replace Lyra, which you should have done anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
DeMonte, which arguably you should have done. If you can get a good import mid, I think it's fine.
Right.
Because Huni's a resident now. So now you have the option of importing mid and jungle, or you can import like
Mid
Jung-
support.
I honestly think importing jungle support is better than importing mid support.
Yeah,
or
well,
mid.
then I would have kept DeMonte then, though. So they have to be importing a mid. Because
Or you find a way to
there's
split
not really a better NA mid than
I think
DeMonte.
Poe overall. I know
No,
Poe had a
Poe is-
really
Poe
bad
is
split
trash.
last.
He's possibly the worst player who's ever been in NA. He has never won anything of import.
Did we just forget
for the
Ruin?
team.
Did we just forget Ruin is a player?
Yes, everyone has.
He's literally the worst.
But
Or
I
Dokla.
don't
for
think
fuck's sake.
Pole Belter's the answer for literally anyone. I would take DeMonte over Pole Belter every single second of every single day.
You know what I would have
That's what
done? I
feels
would have
to me
thrown
like-
$2.3 million at TSM Bjergsen and just taken him.
You know, like Poe Belter feels to me a lot like Golden Glue's older brother that's actually decent at the game, and Golden Glue's like, I want to be like Poe Belter, and he's just not good enough. Like those two feel like that ecosystem, and they have a cousin named Apollo who plays ADC.
Apollo was really consistent back when he used to play with what was his name?
Apollo Price.
I know what you're talking about. That was the duo. They were actually solid together.
Hakuho.
Yeah.
Hakuo.
Hakuo,
Hook
yeah.
boy. Hook God.
He's playing now. He was
But yeah,
announced
if
on.
100 Thieves get Patrick, I'd like that. I'd like that move.
Wait, can we
That's
just
the one
talk
guy.
about the dream lineup here? Someday, Meteos, Bjergsen. Fuck, they'd still have Afro.
Yep.
Vulcan. You just steal Vulcan from
Well,
C9.
they'll never get Bjergsen. He took ownership interest in TSM.
I know, but he was a free agent this year. This was my hope. I said the only way I guarantee myself being a 100 Thief fan is if Bjergsen leaves. And I was really hoping he was. Because I love Bjergsen, and I like a lot of the players on TSM, but I don't love the org. I love the 100 Thieves org, and I'm starting to love some of the players they're bringing back. Meteos is the only one at the moment. But I was really hoping for that 100 T Bjerg.
Dude, did you see the meme video with him and Nade shot? That was fucking priceless.
Did you see the announcement video for Biofrost coming back? I thought it was the greatest announcement video yet. I thought it was hilarious.
Pokemon thing?
Yeah, and then it's like he's flipping through the TV. I thought it was funny. I loved it. But I love Bio. I'm probably the biggest supporter of Bio. I probably overhyped the fuck out of him, but I love him as a player.
Okay, we're done here.
What?
Hour 30. This is a hard stop.
Okay, well, this is where we call it.
This is where we call it. So, guys, announcements. We have a tournament coming up. You'll see more announcements on it on the server. The Discord servers where we have all that shit all the time. It's always there. Hit it up. That's where you'll get information on it. So we will have a tournament. I think Zill's doing that. So keep your eyes peeled. What?
Zill and Double R.
Ah, there you go. So keep your eyes peeled for information on that. Wednesday night community games are a thing again. We have somebody taking care of it. Wooly Torotoro is now the man. So if you want to play Wednesday night community games, they've been going the last couple of weeks. We've had at least 10, 15 people show up for those. It's been good. So come on, hang out on a Wednesday. If you can't do Wednesday, we just play games with people all the fucking time. So there's that. We'll just play games with you if you are here and available. Like we made a new friend named BSelf6 tonight. He just showed up for the first time. So anybody that just shows up, wants to play a game, hops in, you're always welcome, right? Like it's an open community. Just kind of don't be a douche. That's the one rule. So follow that. As far as our server boost goes, I just checked. We have 11 boosts. We need 2 more, and I mean 2 more people to boost twice to get us to the 15 boost tier, which gives us a whole bunch of other and different advantages that I would like to have. So if you guys are out there, you're using your Discord Nitro to boost, let us know, hit us up. That would be very helpful because we need just 4 more and we're at another level of boosting. So that would be great and would really help our server out a lot. Other than that, I hope you made your end of season goal. If you didn't, that sucks.
There's always season 10.
Always season 10. Get
Onward
them
and
dragons.
so forth.
Hunt them dragons, boys.
Shout out to Gensos and Hash for calling me a snack. They obviously like my beard, so fuck you, Blake.
Good night, everybody! All right,
We only went a little
stopped.
over.
Yeah, just a hair. So the recording is stopped. We're uploading now, so don't leave yet.
Mine said successfully generated.
The stream is